On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, Matt and Nick will be shining a light on the 10 most iconic traitorous moments from Star Wars TV and film. Is Pong Krell's treachery on the list? How about Order 66 itself? You must stay tuned to find out which 10 moments made the grade. Of course, the dudes will end the show with the question of the week responses and the latest round of Star Wars fan artist features. Punch it, Chewie. Hey now, everybody, welcome back to the Star Wars Time Show. You thought you could cancel us. We don't have a budget, so you can't. We're here. We do this shit for free, for fun, and to make all of you watch ads. Nick, they're in the Discord bitching about. Apparently, Nova was in there watching the latest live stream. He's like, dude, I'm not even halfway done, and there's been 14 ad rolls. I was like, well,
holy,
that's not
what? We don't place them.
That's Google. I just turn it on. I mean, right now, I could sit there and pop an ad off if I wanted to. Like, we do have buttons where I could jam them down your throat, or I could delay them. But hey, it is what it is. Apparently, even our shorts, Nick, which sometimes are 30 seconds, are getting hit with with like a mid-roll ad.
Dude, I'll say this. So I have YouTube Premium just because I did the 2-month free trial for New Year's when we were like,
and you forgot to cancel it. It's just so worth it.
No, like I canceled it already, but it is nice. Like I didn't realize how many YouTube ads I got until I had this premium thing. And I gotta say, man, like it's nice to have it, but I'm not gonna pay $15 a month to not have ads on YouTube. It's just not worth it. But yeah, I mean the YouTube inventory and how they place their ads that's completely not up to us.
Yeah, just think by suffering through those ads, we're getting like a ha penny for each one. Literally a ha penny from way back when. You know what I mean? Sir Dork, is the check mark because you're premium, bro? We're working through some.
That's what it is. He's verified. He's verified.
Oh, he's so big. Verified. That's right. He's a placker. He's a YouTube channel placker.
Yeah. Well deserved.
I haven't been on a stream in a minute, but he better have that damn plaque in his background like every other streamer on this planet. Like even Pat McAfee keeps his YouTube plaque behind him after ESPN paid him $85 million to just stream his show to their channel. So.
Yeah, I think that Jared is one of the ones that deserves it for sure.
We're a long ways away.
Just apply. You can apply for it. He says you can just apply for the verified check. So maybe we should do that, and maybe more people will watch our stuff, right? Maybe if we're verified, and they know that we're verified Star Wars.
I think if we just stop doing like Star Wars content, we might get more popular. That's kind of what I'm finding out these days. It's just it's very niche-y to begin with, and then it seems all algorithms only feed into bitching and moaning about it. So we just got it all wrong. But hey, that's why we're here. That's why we love you guys for showing up every week to watch our dumbasses or listen to our dumbasses talk about, honestly, stuff that is not real and doesn't really matter. But we all kind of need that these days, especially over here in the States. It's I don't know, just keep your eyes open. It's insane what's happening here. Won't talk about it in detail, won't name names because I know people get butthurt out there, but it's something else. Let's just say I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed, little worried, but it doesn't surprise me at all. So yeah, there's always time for Star Wars time. You know what I mean? That's right. This is the Shill Cult Time Show.
That is right.
Yeah, Jared, you're right. Our videos go absolutely nowhere. We suck. but who cares? We're here. We're doing it. We're going to have a good time. We've got a special topic this week. You know, we're not in season on a new show, so Nick and I try to cook up something fun every week for you. Last week, we tier ranked the 14 Star Wars live action and cartoon series, or TV series. And this week, we've got an interesting one for you. The top 10 traitorous Star Wars moments. So we'll be getting to that after some of the other low-hanging fruit nonsense we do here on the SWTS. Look, even Jared's saying, I mean, he's got a huge following, and if he does a Star Wars video, he doesn't get traction. So it really is like, unless you just shit on Star Wars or bring up DEI in Star Wars, you're fucked. So it's just,
I would say that the YouTube algorithm has figured out that Star Wars content is all just
most people just want to watch Star Wars content and get angry, and apparently we don't make enough people angry. But hey, look, Nick's got his light up cans on today. We're wearing pink. We didn't even coordinate it. If this is the first time people are tuning in, they're probably like, "Oh, this is a an alphabet Star Wars podcast." They got two gay guys here in their pink shirts. But no, we're manly men and we just like pink. I think I look great in it, as does young Nick. He was saying it's like it basically matches the color of my skin.
It's about as color, like the same color as my skin. And it's also for a dope ass barbecue place in Texas. So.
Hell yeah! What's their specialty there, Nick? Brisket or other barbecue specialties?
I mean, they do everything. They do your standard Texas barbecue stuff, but. When we went, the pork ribs were fantastic, and they have a side dish called green spaghetti. And honestly, that was pretty.
What the hell is that?
Too. It's basically like spaghetti made with like a creamy salsa verde.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like veggie noodles or something. You're getting all vegan.
Yeah, no, like standard noodle type. But yeah, just using like a salsa verde type of creamy sauce with it. And it was really good. I think they just, they were either nominated for a Michelin star or some prestigious award they got nominated for. So
yeah, you know what? I don't know. Like I click on weird shit on our Instagram. So most of our reels, if you go on at Star Wars Time Show, it's just women shaking their butts. But
that seems about right.
In the feed, it's food recommendations for Columbus, Ohio. And you know what, Nick? I love to eat. Okay, I got a problem. That's why I have to intermittent fast and work out the way I do. Otherwise, I'd be probably 250 pounds right now. I love to eat. I love my burritos and all the chain stuff, but I'm like, you know what? I want to get out and explore. I want to challenge my palate, find new places to go. And this is where I can kind of get into influencers. For some reason, I like food influencers. Most other influencers I hate. I think they're pieces of shit, but I like the food guys. And they've actually introduced me to some great place around Columbus, Ohio that I would never have taken my little fat ass to because I'm too lazy. And again, because I am a dieter, I'm used to routine. It's like, all right, fine, I'll just eat dry oatmeal. Who cares? So, but I've ran some great sandwich shops. You gotta love a good sandwich. You know what I mean? Like a good hot sandwich, cold sandwich, subs or East Coast hoagies, whatever you want to call them. All right.
Yeah, man.
Bango. Bango's this might be a drinking Bango night. I'm excited for that. You never know what's going to happen when Bango starts tipping back some brewskis. He might start throwing $20 bills at us again to see some nipples. So let's go for it. B-Matt saying I had to delete IG Reels or so unhinged. You watch one video of a girl doing squats and your whole For You page was thick women walking erotically. Yeah, you get those algos are listening, people. I mean, you can train it. It's just, I'm trying to get the asses out of my feed, but I'm not gonna lie, I am a heterosexual male, so it never changes for us.
Yeah, I'm doing a good job at pulling myself away from all Zuckerberg-owned media. I mean, unfortunately, I work in that space, so
I know.
I at least have to have a business account on those things. But I'm pretty clean of social media as of recently. The only thing that I kind of use is Blue Sky, which is that new Twitter alternative. But I got to tell you, I don't know. I mean, obviously there's not a ton of people who are on it yet, but my feed is just too much politics. Like there's too much politics on Blue Sky, and it's like
social media in general, bro. I mean, that's all it is. So you're not wrong, and it kind of sucks. People like you and I, our hands are a bit tied where you do need the platforms a bit to try and get your shit out there, the content you create, but it's just not any fun anymore. I mean,
it's not.
Instagram's dead for us. I don't even know why I post there. I mean, it's because they got like the question feature. That's about it. YouTube, unless it's a season and people are pissed off about Disney Star Wars, nothing. You're right. I mean, I'd love to pull away from all of them. Fuck all these people. Like, I mean, the tech bros have abandoned us. They've all broke bad. Even gay Tim Cook. Like, what the hell's going on in this world, man? It's just like nothing is right anymore.
They gotta pay homage.
That's right. Grease up the FTC, man. Get cheaper chips sent over for Apple. So
exactly. So I mean, who knows? I mean, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I've tried to pull myself away. Well, I've been doing a good job of pulling myself away from social media for a while now, and it's just not healthy. No, it's just not healthy.
I've gotten way better. I was talking to my therapist a week or two ago. I've been able to cut them down to once a month, so I did some good work last year on my brain. But I told him, I was like, I gotta peak every once in a while, because I do feel like we're in an era that you gotta kind of have your head on a swivel a little bit. But if you're in it for more than 10 minutes, it can become very detrimental to your mental health. 100%. It's just like, I don't care what side of the fence you're on, because you're probably going to get fed the opposite just to ratchet you up. And it's like, yeah, that's good. I'm going to go ahead and put my blinders back on and pretend I live in the land of Star Wars again. So, hey, we're here. We're going to do our thing. And Bango's saying Blue Sky's even two left for him, and he's a bluey. So you never know, man. Oh, well, let's not waste our time on this stupid shit. Everyone's got to deal with that in their daily lives. So let's talk about the dumb stuff people come to the Star Wars Time Show to talk about. Because I'm sure we'll get yelled at for even broaching the subject, even though we didn't use any of the words or names or parties. But hey, it's a very sensitive world we live in these days, which is funny. I thought we were going to be getting less sensitive moving forward. Hey, look who's back. Abigail Sky, Divided Skywalker. She has made it. It's good to see you. We missed you these last 2 weeks. That's right, Mad Star Wars politics, as we said a few weeks ago.
Bro.
George Lucas predicted everything that's happening right now, and we're living through it, even though we made fun of him, said, hey, this shit's stupid. Trade Federation, trade disputes, wars, and galactic conflict. Hey, he's always been topical, and for those people out there that want to tell you that Star Wars has never been political, these are the people that just don't get it. I mean, Star Wars, the original trilogy, the rebels were literally the Viet Cong, okay?
Yeah.
All right? Thank you. All right. Let's do a little Ask Us Anything before we get into the nitty-gritty here. We put out a prompt every week on Instagram, the things we're trying to not use anymore, but it goes to Discord, Twitter, I'll never call it the other name, and I even think our YouTube community. Speaking of the YouTube community, hey, if you're new here, we'd love a sub. There's your call to action right there. If you really want to be a team player, though, we'd love for you to become a channel member. I think we need 2 or 3 more to unlock some more custom emojis. We've got some requests I'd love to pay off on, so consider it. Join the channel down below in the description, starting as low as $1.99. Chop. All right, there you go. Divided showing off some of the perks you get there. Not only do you get a custom Vader kitty to show your tenure here at the SWTS, but you get access to special emojis that we can increase the more members we get. So we love you. You speak your name.
You can use those special emojis in other people's chats too. So if you are a avid YouTube live stream watcher, you can go spam somebody with some SWTS.
Yeah, we need to send the SWTS army over to Beyond the Dune Sea and bomb them with our emojis over their emojis.
Yeah.
Although I think some of you are their channel members too, so
I say that.
Their shit will take precedence. All right, we'll Ask Us Anything. Like I said, prompt gets out on our socials. Just follow us, turn on notifications, do all that stupid shit. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. That wasn't. Oh, yep. Got to hit that button too there, Haywood. All right. I got one screen that's not quite synced, but we are about ready to rock and roll. You know, nothing ever works here, but that's why you all love us. So, first, ask us anything. We received from the fandom, coming from Nova, Nick. Will you be rewatching Andor S1 before S2 begins? Looking forward to the Once in Predictions episode for season 2. Well, we're looking forward to it too, Nova. But I'll let Nick answer first. Are you going to do a little studying or are you going in blind? I think I know the answer.
No, I typically do not do rewatches. I don't do rewatches of shows before. I mean, I also like have a pretty good memory, so I can remember a lot of it. But not gonna do a full rewatch on this side.
All right. B-Mad, we love you, brother. Thanks for the super chat there. B-Mad saying, I'm a member and I use it as a write-off for taxes under charity. See, there you go.
There you go.
We're probably not even going to have an IRS next year, so just do whatever you want. I mean, I'm going to write off my entire house, I think, and just see what happens. So, right? I mean, it's Wild West, people. Nova, I've been thinking about it. Unlike Nick, it's not even a memory thing. Sometimes I just want to get back into the universe, kind of get my head in that space again, get in the world of Lord Gilroy. It just depends. I mean, the time's limited. Nighttime watching is for the kid and the wife. I mean, the kid and I, we basically watch Raw now from Monday to Wednesday because she has to go to bed at 9, so we can't watch it all. And then wife and I, we just scrapped through Dune Prophecy. Excellent. I hope we get another season. Hope it's more than 6 episodes. But I think we're going to move on to Silo, then Severance. So the backlog needs addressed before Andor Season 1. So we'll see. But we'll be bringing it in our Once in Predictions episode, and we will probably knock them out of the park. All right. Baron's Black Series. Good old Spa here. Ever read any Michael Crichton books? You all will be surprised to hear this, but I'm pretty sure I read Jurassic Park and Congo from Michael Crichton. And that's because it was back before I banned myself from reading. So take that, people that don't think I can read. I have read some Crichton.
So, I mean, funny enough that Spencer brings this up now. I actually just started reading the original Jurassic Park book probably 3 days ago.
No shit.
Like,
and you got like full disclosure. Nick is a JP super fan. I mean, he could do like a Jurassic Park time show, right? I mean, you're pretty high on that franchise.
I've actually when I saw the trailer for Rebirth.
Oh, hold on. We got big news here. Yeah. Bango telling us to bend the knee. I'm a Sith Lord now, mofo. All right, Bango joining the channel as a pimp.
There we go.
We speak your name, Darth Bango.
Member for 9 months.
Sorry, Nick. We got to we got to call out the people that pay our bills. So I didn't mean to cut you off. But go ahead on your JP read. But
so I saw the trailer for Rebirth, and here's the thing about Jurassic Park for me. There's only one Jurassic Park movie that I don't like, and it's Fallen Kingdom. I thought it was bad.
That's the middle of Trevorrow's trilogy, right?
Yeah, that's the middle one of Trevorrow.
Yeah, because it's as horrific as Jurassic Park 2, and it's kind of the same thing where the dinosaurs make it back to land and gets a little weird. And
it's just so poorly executed. Okay. But anyway, so I saw Rebirth, and I was like, you know what? I've never read the original Jurassic Park book, and I know that there are differences between the book and the movie, and even from the very beginning of the book, it's very clear the differences between the two. But I also I watched JP1, I watched Lost World, I watched Jurassic Park 3, and then yesterday I watched Jurassic World. So I've just been on a Jurassic Park rewatch. And the thing about Jurassic Park that makes it so easy to watch is it's just there's no huge deep story. There's obviously a lot of the story is about environmentalism over capitalism and respecting nature and all of that stuff. So the message itself resonates with me as a human being, but also there's no deep ass story that I need to pay attention to, because it's just people go on island where they're not supposed to go. dinosaurs attack them. People run away from dinosaurs. Some people live, some people die. It's simple. It's digestible. It's fun to watch. They're not overly long either. Like up until Jurassic World was tight. It was like 2 hours. And then the next two after that, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and Dominion are longer. But man, I just love the Jurassic Park franchise, man.
All right, what do you think about this new one coming up, man? I watched that trailer like a week or two ago. I was just like,
dude, I'm fucking in.
Okay,
yeah, I'm in.
Okay,
I'm in. But other Crichton, but I've read Timeline as well. I thought that Timeline was a really fun book from Crichton, and then I read Andromeda Strain as well. So Crichton books are right up my alley. But now I'm going to read JP1, and then I'm going to read Lost World too. So I'll catch up there. But yeah, I mean, Jurassic World. Look. Rebirth, whatever it's called, Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm in, just because like if you put dinosaurs on a big screen for me, I'm like a little kid again.
I love it. I love it. You know, because I mean, recently, I don't want to accuse you of being a hater, but there's some pop culture stuff you don't really get excited about that I do, and sometimes I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. But here we go. The tables have been reversed. I'll be there opening night because that's just who I am. But I don't know. I'm not having a strong pull for it. Speaking of franchise rewatches, we finished Pirates of the Caribbean. That is shit. Dude,
I fucking love Pirates of the Caribbean too. First three, I don't know about 4 and 5. I haven't watched it.
No, I mean, dude, really, even 2 and 3, if you really sit there, here's how fucking much time I just invested in these movies. Like an asshole. Last weekend, it's very cold up here, so, it was good sitting around just doing nothing, slug life. So we throw on Dead Man's Chest. I instantly, within 30 minutes, I'm falling asleep, like just out. So I rewatched it. So I watched Dead Man's Chest twice in one weekend. It's not good. And then World's End is even worse. I mean, Nick, there's like 9,000 betrayals between Will, Jack, Barbossa, and Elizabeth that it just becomes absolutely ridiculous. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, no, haha. It's like, what the fuck? And then 4 and 5 are just absolute garbage. But I watched them all, and I'd probably do it again. There's just something about the music and Johnny ass weirdo Depp. I'm sorry. Like, Captain Jack is an intriguing character. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny definitely carries those movies. And I believe he's not in the 5th one. Is that right?
No, he's in 5, and I think they're trying to get 6 up and running. But 5, they even got Bloom and Kira back in that very lightly, but they brought him back for that one.
And then who was it? It was Javier Bardem was the bad guy
in the last one. Yeah. It's Captain Salazar, who is another cursed captain like Davy Jones and Barbossa and the monkey.
When you're doing pirate stuff, there's as open as the waters are, I feel like there's not as much space that you can use for like creative storytelling. Yeah. We'll see if they ever get a 6th one off the ground, but like I really do feel like it has to be more around those things of like, the first one was like finding this treasure or something like that.
It was breaking the curse. It was breaking the curse. Yeah,
breaking the curse and stuff. And then
second one is finding Davy Jones's chest for his heart.
Yeah, and the third one is
it's basically a sequel to the second. It's the Brits have the heart. They're controlling Davy Jones to kill all the pirates. So the pirate lords have to bound together and vote for a pirate king to attack the British Navy and summon Calypso to kill Davy Jones. It's like, oh my god.
So ultimately it's like Black Pearl is a standalone, and then 2 and 3 are a sequel.
They're all, you are not wrong. It is a trilogy because the story of William Turner and Elizabeth and Jack is told through the first 3. Then they disappear in 4. And then lightly come back in 5, where the end of 5, essentially there can be no more curses of the ocean. So, Will Turner's free of his tenure on the Flying Dutchman. And he's back with his wife, and his son is happy. He marries a scientist. So, oh, well. I watched it. I watched Pirates 2 and 3 twice. last weekend. So what does that say about me? I don't know. We're way off topic right now, so let's try to get back here. That was my fault. But hearing Nick doing a little franchise rewatch is like, you know what? I'm kind of doing that too. I don't know if I'm spending my time wisely though.
Yeah, I'm going to try to watch Fallen Kingdom soon, but I know that last time I tried to watch it, I stopped it in the middle because I was just like, it's just so bad.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Do you, I mean, here's the thing. The reason I rewatch these movies, because if I zone out and I'm not like right on the plot, I almost feel bad. You know, it's an OCD thing. It's like, well, what did happen? Did I really watch the movie? Well, I didn't watch the movie, so now I got to rewatch it. Are you that weird, or is this like my own mental problem?
And also, that's why I like JP, because JP is always the same thing. It's like every JP movie is like somebody's trying to save the dinosaurs, somebody else is not trying to save the dinosaurs. It all goes to shit, and the dinosaurs kill whoever's in front of them. So if I don't pay attention for 10 minutes and I look up and somebody's getting chased by a dinosaur, I'm like, yeah, that's about right.
I mean, believe it or not, like Pirates, you kind of have to pay attention because, like I said, there's so many betrayals. It could be in the same 10 seconds. There'll be 4 betrayals. Then there's a bunch of lore you got to listen to because it's like, well, if you rub his left nipple, you'll kill the ghost. It's like, oh, okay, I missed that. Oh, well, such is life. Next question here coming from Blanche. As a child, Nick, what was one thing you wish you could have done but never did?
Such a hard question. I mean, as a child, here's what I was. I was not a needy kid. Like I didn't have I wasn't that kind of kid that asks for stuff all the time or needed a lot.
I believe you when you say that. I wonder if you even said anything as a kid and just sat there and kept your mouth shut, right?
I was actually when I was a kid, I was very extroverted. I was definitely different than I am now. But I played sports and stuff as a kid. So when it came around to it, it's when the new video game consoles came out, my parents would get me one for Christmas, and that I was happy. But I started working little summer jobs and side jobs when I was 13 years old. So at a certain point, it's when I wanted a new video game, I had already made money to where I could just buy it for myself. So at a certain point, I just had expendable money, so I didn't need to ask my parents for a lot of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I can't really think of anything. Something that you wish you could have done but never did. I don't know. I don't really have anything like that from my childhood. I just can't think of anything.
Mine's easy because my dad was a weirdo and extremely cheap. I didn't go to Disney World until I was 40 years old. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm being guilted by my wife now. Hey, Charlie's 8. We gotta, get her there a few more times before, that runs out. It's fuck that. I didn't get to go until I was 40 years old. So why does she deserve to get to go again? So I mean, I guess that's it. I mean, listen, we grew up middle class. I had to shop at Payless and shit like that. I had the shitty plastic shoes, but we weren't super poor. But we had no air conditioning, barely used heat. We used kerosene heaters in the house. We were one of those types of white families. So no fun trips. We did get to do the beach once a year in a lake, so I guess I can't complain. But Disney is one I feel like I probably missed out on as a kid.
Not having it until you were 40 was definitely a big one.
I guess I can understand why you love it because it is. It's like a family tradition for you. I have zero. To me, Disney's it's a fucking place. It's a place where there's lots of people and lines, and I don't like people and I don't like lines. So don't really care that much. I did Galaxy's Edge. Not really sure you need to do it many more times than once. It's the same thing. Another day, another dollar. All right. I'm more of a roller coaster type of guy, so I would prefer to go to Cedar Point, to be honest with everybody.
Yeah. It's not the biggest roller coaster place.
No. Very, the immersive rides, some of the best in the world, 100%, but it's come on, get out of here.
The immersive rides and the food, and the food in the park is if you go to the right places or where to go, the food is just fucking crazy.
We might try to do a fall trip this year and take your advice of try to go. What do you do? November, you said, is kind of slow. What do you think October looks like?
October, if you plan it around, because there's like the Mickey spooky Halloween party.
It wouldn't be Halloween.
Like
it'd be like early October.
Yeah. Earlier October would probably be your better time to go. I can like that. That I think is considered like non-peak season. Okay. So yeah, that would be a good time. And then Food and Wine Festival is in November, and that's always a good time to go. But there's a few more people there.
All right, so yeah, there you go, Blanche. Thanks for bringing up those sad, painful memories. 2797, Ben Johnson hiring. Well, I'll tell you this. The guy seemed to be a stud at Detroit. Detroit was a black hole cancer team. I lived there for almost 5 years. I was there, I think, both years they went over. So I love what Coach Dan and Ben and them did for that city and that team. So if Ben is actually the real deal, going to Chicago, getting all those resources and a supposed stud in Caleb Williams, you know, I think it's a good hire. The problem is I think your organization is shit. So if organizations suck, I don't think it really matters who you bring in, but we'll see. Yeah. I know what B-Mad's doing. He's doing the Duval. That's what the new Jacksonville coach did on his opening day presser, and he looked like an absolute goober. You got your coach, right? Kellen Moore?
Yeah.
Coming over?
Kellen Moore.
Okay.
Yeah. Just off of the Super Bowl win. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Caleb Williams fan. Like, I didn't think that he was going to be good coming out of college, but everybody wanted to blow this kid for some reason. And then what does he do? He goes to Chicago and he shits the bed. Yeah. So I just don't think that he's as good as other. I mean, like, he played in USC when USC was not good. Like, for some reason, like, people just look at his stats in a weak division and think that he's like a killer in the NFL. And then, like, you look at Jaden Daniels, who goes to an equally terrible team in Washington, and that franchise turns into a fucking playoff team the first year he's there. I don't think that Caleb Williams has it in him. I could be wrong. Maybe he needs Ben Johnson or somebody like that to really be that offensive mind for him. But I just don't think that kid's got the NFL juice. But yeah, I don't know. Kellen Moore, we'll see. Our big problem is we still don't know what the fuck we're doing at quarterback. Like, we don't know if we're going to keep Derek Carr. We don't know if we're going to trade Derek Carr. We don't know if we're going to draft Cam Ward or try to trade up to number 1 or take Jalen Milroe. We have no fucking clue what our quarterback situation is. And that's the only important position on the whole field in the NFL, to be completely honest. Like, unless you have Saquon Barkley as your running back, or like even now, like, there's no super standout wide receiver in the NFL. The only position that matters is quarterback.
Yep.
And we don't have one.
And head coach to a point, because I'm sitting here like, I'm jealous of all you guys getting new coaches when I've been here for 18 plus years watching Captain Mediocre be talked about like he's the greatest coach of all time because he's never had a losing season. Like, what does that even mean? Who gives a shit? Who cares? That's the stuff that flies in Cleveland or Cincinnati, not Pittsburgh, the first team to get 4 Super Bowls, to 6 Super Bowls. No, the standard is the standard. Well, guess what? The standard is now the low standard. Until that guy's gone, it don't fucking matter. I don't care what quarterback they have. They suck. All right, next question. EKU Rory, if you could choose one force ability, what would it be? Choke, lightning, etc. What do you got, Nick?
Mine's push and pull, because that's the most versatile. Like, I could do everything that I needed to around my house with force, push, and pull. Like, I could turn off lights. I could turn on and off lights. I could open up cabinets and like grab glasses out of. I could do everything that I wanted to with force, push, and pull.
Yeah, I thought about this one too, and I think I might take force healing.
Healing would be good too.
Yeah, because then I just run around and, you know, try to get shot. I you know, essentially try to be a superhero and just get knocked down and be like, all right, and heal myself and get right back up and get to it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there you go. That's what I would do. I would take force heal.
Nice.
Be Mad saying Pittsburgh and New Orleans. Yeah, that's right. I mean, if anything, you can't shit on the Steelers unis. I think they're classic. They've never changed, unlike other teams. You know, the Eagles, they've gone through logo rebrands, color changes. Steelers, basic as possible. Best part is they got their logo from Cleveland. That's my favorite part. Suckers. Hey there, Commander Green. Good to see you. All right, and what else we got? Scion XTC. With the way AI is going, is Judgment Day more likely? Oh, 100%. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, definitely.
2 things happened under the new administration. They rescinded the executive order of the last administration, which essentially said, like, hey, let's just think about this stuff and try to do it the right way. But hey, you know, we can't have that. And I believe Google has now added language to their AI policy that now includes weaponry where before it did not. So yeah, 100%. 100%. Polanca's got a good question. He's calling me out on my choice here. Does force heal work if you do it to yourself? We see it being done to other people. Yeah, sure. It works in my head because it's not real, and I just said so. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm in AI every single day. I run an AI meetup for the school. I really beat the drum, but it's over. I mean, yeah, we're done. Okay, so there you go. All right. Oh, we got another one here. Abby Sky, what should I do on my cruise next week? Norwegian Joy from Miami to Belize Private Island.
Well, one, take advantage of all the free food on the cruise lines. I don't know if you got the drink package, but definitely take advantage of all the free food. That's the best part. And then the best thing that you can try to do on any type of cruise or beach vacation is just disconnect from absolutely everything. Like, don't look at your phone. Don't scroll any sort of social media, nothing. If you need to use your phone, have it only to be like reading a book while you're sitting on the beach or something. Like, just relax as much as possible.
Yeah, I've never gone on a cruise. I don't think I'd ever want to go on a cruise. Even as big as that thing is, I think I'd feel claustrophobic. Like, I can't get off this ship. And I really do feel I have such bad luck in life that I'd be the guy where the ship would crash, almost sink, or the power would go out, or there'd be like some new avian flu outbreak, and that would be my cruise. So, my advice would be not to go on a cruise. I'm just kidding. Have as much fun as possible. Like Nick said, get rid of those damn phones. I don't think you can use them on ships anyways unless you're above deck or close to a port. Get rid of that. I'm a fan of expanding your mind, so we'll just leave it at that. I don't think you can do much of that on a cruise, but if you can, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be sitting on that top deck pretty much every day staring up at the sky and having a hell of a time in my head where everyone else is just looking at me like, what the hell's going on with him? So that's what I would be doing. And it's been a while. I think it might be time this weekend to go ahead and visit the Toad's Kingdom, if you know what I'm talking about. All right, I think this is the last one, I hope. Bango, our boy here, new Sith Lord member. If you could know your death date and manner of death, would you want to know, and if so, why? Fuck. No. Knowing the way I am, it would completely cripple me. So that's why I wouldn't. I'm fine just not knowing. And I do hope I get a good death in life. I don't want to waste away like cancer people and stuff like that. Hopefully it's quick, lightning strike, gunshot to the head. I always said if I could have my choice of death, like I had to die that day, I would duct tape a grenade to my head, pull the pin, and just start running in a straight line, because I think that'd be kind of a funny way for people to watch me go out. But that also shows you the state of my mind that I'm not normal. So what about you, Nick?
I would not want to know. I mean, like, this is essentially like the question. Like, I don't know if Bango is a watcher of anime, or I don't know if you've seen Death Note, but like that, this is essentially the Death Note power to a certain degree. Is like you could, like one of the bargains was you could see how much time you have left in your life, and you would know your death date, stuff like that. But no, I don't want to know it. I don't want to know if I'm dying tomorrow. I don't want to know if I'm dying in 35 years. I'll go when I go, and it's not going to really affect how I live out my life.
It would just dominate my thoughts if I knew. That's all I would think about.
Because it just affects everything that you do. Sometimes, and like maybe you could say in a positive way, because it's like, okay, well, if you know you're dying in 10 years, then you could really pack your 10 years full of stuff to do. But then you're just living in anticipation of your own like death, and you know exactly when that happens. So I just don't want to do that. And then his second part of the question, if you could have one Star Wars book or book series redone, which one would it be?
That's all you, brother.
For me, that's the new. So in the new publishing era, like Zahn wrote his Thrawn trilogy again. So the first Thrawn trilogy was great. I enjoyed it. The second Thrawn trilogy, where it's following a younger Thrawn, I wasn't a huge fan of that one. I bought the first book. I tried to read, like I gave it my fucking best shot, and it just didn't hit for me. Like it just didn't pull me in like even the new Thrawn trilogy did. So I would say that one, or that's the one I'm going to go with, is the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy, new one.
All right, I can't answer this, so thank you, Nick. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Appreciate your expertise there. I haven't read a Star Wars book in forever, and I wouldn't even be able to tell you the last one I read. It might have been the Darth Vader book that I think came out after Revenge of the Sith, or maybe before Revenge of the Sith, right? And when they're like a Darth Vader hardcover.
Yeah, I read that.
Okay.
Rise of the Dark Lord. Or something like
there
that.
you go. There you go. I'm getting bitched at on YouTube side, saying things are jacked.
I think I don't know if it's us or if it's YouTube, but yeah, I mean,
it's saying it's not getting enough video, but it's full of shit because I'm sending 8,000 kbps to it. So I don't know what to tell you. It'll probably figure itself out. The vertical stream is not bitching at us, so if you want to switch over there, maybe that one's cooking along a little better. But hey, now it's excellent. See, that's the joys of streaming to YouTube. It probably is the ads. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. A little long, but fun. So let's go ahead and we'll pick up the pace here. We got quick little pop culture things. As promised, I did go check out Captain America: Brave New World last week. And as I've been kind of reading around some other people's takes, I think I'm in line with most fans out there. It's like, hey, it was okay. Not great, not bad. Felt more like a TV series versus a big budget movie. I think they kind of threw the baby out with the bathwater with all the promotion on Red Hulk. If they would have kept that kind of under wraps, that probably would have hit harder and made the movie pop a bit more. I thought Mackie was great as the new Cap. Okay, some decent action scenes, but it's kind of hard to believe them when they really focus on, like, I'm Sam, I didn't take the serum. Then he acts like Captain America. So that's kind of odd. It's okay. I mean, it's just okay. It was nothing that was really like, damn, I want to go see that again right away. I did like Harrison Ford. I think Harrison Ford is having like a renaissance of sorts in his 80s. Like it seems like he's just really relaxed, and he's like, fuck it. I'll be an MCU. I'll be a superhero. Who cares? I'll play a shrink on TV. Fuck it.
He's like, are you going to pay me to do this? I'm in.
Good for him. And he did a good job. And it's like, who cares? I know he replaced another actor. Who gives a shit? They do it all the time in the MCU.
That actor passed away, I believe.
Okay, well then there you go.
Yeah, I think it was what was his name? I can't remember.
General something. Like I said, I don't even like pay attention anymore. So, it's like Bat saying it wasn't horrible. Sir Dork, he liked it. Be mad. There's really no spoilers to give. I mean, the trailers give away the big plot point. That's what I mean. It's like, they literally make the major plot point of the movie is like, oh, what could be going on with the president and this green sinister brain guy? It's like, well, we know exactly what's going on because you showed us nonstop. So it was kind of dumb. But I think the new Captain America, he looks great. All right. I like the new armor. I really like him flying around with the shield, and like I said, some of the action's pretty good, but it never felt like a true MCU tentpole type of movie. All right, you know what I mean?
All right, yeah. I will see it probably, I don't know, maybe we'll go see it this weekend. I'm not sure. I know I want to see it, but, you know.
Yeah, I'll be interested on your take, because like I said last week, I kind of was putting words in your mouth like, oh, Nick doesn't give a shit about the MCU. He's not going to go. And then you surprise us once again, just like today with your Jurassic Park bone. You're like, no, I am going and I want to see this one. So considering you've been kind of off the MCU for the past couple years, I want to see how you take it. You have to watch the Bucky and Sam Falcon show on Disney Plus, though. Like that.
Oh, we've seen
that's
that
a must going into this, because this is essentially a direct sequel to that TV series.
Yeah. I watched that when it first came out, so it's been a while. But I remember pretty much like the most part of that stuff. So up to date on that. And I mean, honestly, what probably would hurt this movie more than anything is how long it actually took to come out from when that show came out. Like that show should have come out, or that show and the movie should have come out much closer together.
Oh yeah. And we're talking 2 or 3 years apart, I think. So
it's a pretty significant gap. So I don't know why they did it that way, or if they were expecting to do the Cap movie sooner, and then they got caught up with other stuff, or COVID.
Well, they got lost, man. I mean, they're lost, and they're still lost. I can tell you. I mean, of course, there's a stinger here, but it's like, these people are coming by. It's okay. We know Kang's out of the picture, even though they built up phase 4 and 5 for him, and now they're trying to scramble and reboot, I'm assuming, for RDJ's Doom. But it's gone. Like the MCU has kind of lost that magic, and it's sad. We've all known it. I think this kind of puts the nail in that coffin, though. It's over. He's lost the touch. He really has.
It's a hard thing to do, continuously telling stories in the same universe for, I mean, at this point, 20 years. Like
over that, man. 25. I think the first Iron Man was at 2010 or 8 maybe. So
Iron Man 1,
I think it's 8 or 10. I forget. Is it 8?
Oh, 8. So 17 years. I mean, that's fucking really hard to do. And they don't take breaks, and they pump out these movies like crazy, which they really shouldn't. Like they should take a break, reset, and have something, like have a full built out plan. But yeah, I mean, like there's no way that they were going to continue to put out, bangers for 17 years in a row. Like it's just impossible to do.
I agree. I guess I was hoping for the drop off not to be as significant as it is. You know what I mean? It's just like, I really used to look forward to Marvel movies. They'd sell out. You had to pre-order tickets. Now you can literally walk up there and get in, as most movies these days, which is sad. All right, one more movie, and this one is not new, but it's definitely going to be in the awards around or being talked about for award season, and I'm glad I finally watched it because it is excellent. And this is The Substance. It's a movie by a French creator. Her name is Coralie Farguet, and it stars Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid, and it is awesome. It is so good. It's so out there. It's kind of a horror movie with commentary on aging and people and beauty and wanting to regain your youth and the dangers of that. I think it's excellent. This Coralie, she wrote it, she directed it. It is fantastic. Demi Moore, I know she's up for awards. The movie's up for awards. It should win them all. It really is. It's just one of those films that you're like, whoa, this is kind of new. This is kind of different. It is bizarre AF, as bad as saying. So check it out. I know if you like sign up for Mubi for a trial and cancel it, you can watch it for free, at least on Apple TV. That's well worth that exercise. Because it's great. And I actually found, Nick, this Coralie, she's probably more my age, but her first ever movie as a kid was Star Wars. Like a homemade stop motion Star Wars movie with the Kenner figures. Look it up, people. It's great. Like you can see that this human, this Coralie, knew what she wanted to do when she was a kid, and has made it all the way up to being nominated as a best director, and I think that is awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, hell yeah.
Yeah,
that's what being a Star Wars fan can get.
There you go. I wish I would have clipped it.
I mean, look at Jared.
Right.
Look at Jared. I mean, like Jared's, not making movies, but like the art that he's putting out and the art that the toy photography community's putting out. I mean, you see people that are really getting big. I mean, like Jared's getting big. Plastic huge. Action.
Well, there's two categories. Jax has literally gone like Super Saiyan. That's plastic action. Yeah, his job now is literally getting hired by, the NBA or Microsoft to make commercials for them, which is fucking amazing. Okay? Just based on starting with toy photography. Black Series, he got flown out to New York this last week to go to the downtown Best Buy and do a clinic on photography. The Anaheim Ducks hire him to make a poster for their Star Wars night every year. So they're out there, making cash and doing the thing. Sir Dork is like the king of the community. He is the teacher. Yeah. He's the Sherpa. Like his channel is nothing but helping people do toy photography. So those three in general, watching their careers, it's insane to see what each one has achieved through this little hobby that, I used to be a kind of a founding father of, but have since resigned so many years ago. B-Mad would like to know your thoughts on the Superman film coming out. We're not going to ask that to Nick because we know his thoughts. He hates Superman. He thinks he's OP and wants James Gunn to die. So there's Nick's response.
That's not true about James. A good dude. James a good dude.
I'm excited. Listen, I'm a Star Wars homeboy. I'm a child of the 80s. Christopher Reeves is my dude. He spoke at my college graduation. I love that man. I love that theme. I also enjoyed Cavill's Superman, at least Man of Steel. So yeah, I'm going. It's just like Jurassic World. That the trailer did not really do anything for me. It did not get me emotional. Like they're not using the right music or something. But I'll definitely go see it because I do believe in James Gunn. He really hasn't let me down. So let's see if he can do the DC thing before we poo-poo him on here. All right. Brittany Taylor showing up today. She's hoping we get something other than Empire versus Rebels. Yeah, I agree. But that seems to be what when we go away from that though, then people get very upset. So who knows? I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it is kind of a very hard dichotomy there, right? Where it's like technically, you've reskinned Empire versus Rebels into New Republic versus Resistance versus First Order, and then even if you go back, the cooler part of it is like Jedi versus Sith because everybody's got lightsabers and everybody's cutting each other up, but it's essentially the same thing, right? It's all like Star Wars tends to always devolve into good guy, like the good versus the bad side, and there's no like. Yeah,
so we do kind of need like the Vong coming in or the Chiss, something like that. I guess is what people are looking for.
I would really like that. I would really like if they had a Vong story, a use on Vong storyline,
where you almost have to. Like hey, everyone, let's kind of put our beef down. We all got to unite against this threat, something like that.
Exactly. And if that's what we get with this crossover event or something like that, then maybe that would be that would
crossover, schmossover. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, Mando and Grogu, that's the only movie I believe actually exists because they shot it and they've actually put out some posters. So that's all I believe in terms of Star Wars movie news right now.
True.
Hey, has anyone else gotten in on the bracelet trend like my ass? Because I live with a bunch of girls. Like, look at me, Nick. I got the ball bracelets. I got the rubber bracelets. The wife just hooked me up with this leather Skywalker saber bracelet. It's his Vader and his Anakin together. Let's check that out. But I'm now wearing pink hoodies and I have bracelets that go almost to my elbow.
Hey man, you're in a household full of.
I'm trendy. I'm trendy. I saw Dan Orlovsky on Pat McAfee. He does it too. You're clean. You're just watch.
I just have the watch.
Yeah, I'm watch left, bracelet
watch.
boy right. What is the bracelet thing though? Like, is it from Taylor? Like, it seems like it's just come out of the woodwork over the past year or two.
No clue. I mean, the last time that I had like a wrist accessory that wasn't a watch was the Live Strong bracelets.
Okay.
So it's been a while. Bro.
I always had I've got my Han Solo, I love you, I know, Enso ring bracelet. That started it. My aunt unexpectedly died this fall, so I got her organ donation bracelet on. Mm-hmm. The kid makes rubber band bracelets, so of course I got to wear those. And then, hey, ball bracelets. I'm a stylish motherfucker. What can I say? All right, people, this is a Star Wars time show, and we've went about an hour not talking about Star Wars, so let's get into this real quick. Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight, remember him? He did some writing on the Rey movie and then left, because that's just how we deal with movies these days. But they caught up to him. I guess he's working on some movie. I don't know if it's the Peaky Blinders movie, but they asked him about his work on the Star Wars project. And he's like, Nick, I kind of want your take on this answer. But so they ask him about his work on a Star Wars project, and here's what he has to say. And I want everyone to just kind of read the undertones here. There's a system, and when you engage with it, you know what it is. You do your bit, you turn in your draft or drafts, as I did, and then the system moves on. I fully expect that substantial amounts of what I did will be in the movie. Who knows? But that's the expectation. So, Nick, I kind of read that as they're a fucking machine over there, and they will steamroll over any creative. You just got to accept it and commit yourself and turn over the work, and that's just life at Lucasfilm. What do you think he's saying there? Does he feel a little salty? Does that feel a little salty a bit?
I mean, definitely does. I mean, it's a similar situation to Michael Arndt and TFA, where like Arndt and like this happens with a lot of like larger studio films, where it's like you have 17 writing credits on a fucking movie because 13 different people wrote drafts and they take bits and pieces of all of them. Like,
I mean, it happened on TFA, right? You see that Michael Arnold guy, he's like the first writer.
Yeah, he gets a writing credit, but I mean, essentially what happens is like they source a ton of different ideas from different writers. Each writer writes their own draft, and then they kind of piece it together. And that's what happens when you don't have, and I'm not saying that the sequels were right to do this, but like that's what happens when you don't have a director-writer duo like all of the sequel trilogy movies did. Because initially, before JJ was brought on to do TFA, that's when Michael Arndt was writing it. And then when JJ came over, it was like, okay, well, Chris Terrio's my writer, so he's going to write it. But we'll take some of your stuff. Yeah. And then when Ryan came on, it was Ryan and Ryan's partner. Mm-hmm. I can't remember his name now.
Skippy.
But then it was Colin and Derek Connolly. They were going to write and direct the third one. And then it just came back around to JJ and Chris again. So like now that we're in an era or in a movie that doesn't have, like the director does not have a writing partner attached to her. They're like, all right, let me see what you got.
I don't know, man. Like Bat's saying, it's like the sequels taught him nothing. I mean, this Rey movie.
That's the thing is they're doing the exact opposite of what they did with the sequels. They're not attaching a director to a writer. So they're taking learnings from the sequels, but will it work or will it not?
Yeah, I guess my concern is too many cooks in the kitchen. Writing is you being a writer. It's a very creative thing. And it's very hard for two creatives to kind of line up perfectly. Like, hey, Nick, I'm going to hand this story off to you. And Nick's going to be like, all right, sweet. Shit.
I mean, honestly,
I'm going to do it my way. So, like, in the end, it's all going to be convoluted and polluted. There's not going to be one clear voice throughout it. Bring back George Lucas.
Here's the thing.
We want George.
I don't know if I don't know what the plans are for this movie, if this is kicking off another trilogy or if this is going to be a standalone, whatever it's going to be. The proper way to do it is, like you said, have a consistent voice throughout. But really the best way to do any movie is your writer and your director is the same fucking person. Like
if they can do it, like, I mean, not all directors can write.
Not all directors can write. Like not all directors can write. But like, honestly, that is like, you have the least amount of people that's touching stuff. You have the most consistency in terms of your expectation from from person to person, and then you are the arbiter of the story, and you're also directing the actors. I mean, like, you can talk shit about Kevin Smith movies, but he's always written his own movies and directed, and they feel like his movies all the way through. I mean, sure, Richard Linklater, another one. Like, Richard Linklater writes and directs his own films, and like, whether you like him or not, like, it has his signature style to it, and it feels like a Linklater movie. For this, I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's a single movie or not.
Nick, I don't think they know what it is, and I think that's the problem.
I will tell you that they need to, if it's going to be a trilogy, then Charmaine needs to be the director for all three of them. And they need to, whoever is the one who has written the final script.
Yeah, they survived the Star Wars writers' Hunger Games. They should be brought on for the next two.
They should be on for all three.
Exactly.
That's how it should be.
There you go. So, news update for the Rey movie. It's still fucked up. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows when?
Yeah, I mean, we're with you too. I mean, you go ahead and take your time. It's just like, it's just continued bad optics is all I'm saying. It's like, you already know your brand is under attack, especially from the far right of the Star Wars fandom. Even some of us more sane fans are starting to be like, come on, like, this is just starting to be silly. Like, why come out with all the pomp and circumstance at Celebration, like, we're the cock of the walk, we're doing this movie, and literally 3-4 years later, nothing has happened. You look like idiots. The boy who cried wolf. You lose some cachet, even with a diehard like myself. All right, one more quick one, and this is really nothing that's probably going to surprise anyone. But Star Wars Outlaws was a complete dud, which is a shame because I do think it's a good game. But it still has not reached its sales forecasts. In fact, the Jedi Fallen Order, or whatever the hell it was, Jedi Survivor from 23, sold more copies than Outlaws did in 2024. So a year-old game did better than Outlaws, but Ubisoft still thinks it's going to have some legs and they will eventually make some money, but it seems Outlaws, unfortunately, probably because a mix of a few things, the female lead, the botched launch, the buggy launch, the multiple patches needed to get it to where it's at, it seems like this was a failed experiment at this point in time, which means studios will get wiped out, and it is what it is. So
yeah, not super surprising. I didn't play this game for very long, and I didn't feel the need to continue playing it. Yeah. Honestly, the game didn't deserve to sell well because Ubisoft fucked it up. And I told everybody leading up to this that Ubisoft would fuck it up, and they did.
He did. He's not lying. You all know he did it. Give him a damn trophy. Give him a goddamn trophy.
At least there's one good Lucasfilm game out there, and it's the fucking Great Circle Indiana Jones game. If you have not played that, do yourself
you said
a favor.
that. I just, dude, it's weird. I find the older I get, I go in gaming phases, and I have not really had the pull to play a game for almost 2 months. It's been a lot of more movie watching or farting around on these cold northern weekends. Got to ski last weekend, though, so that was a good use of my time.
Nice.
I love skiing, man. Finally got the little one out for the first time, and she got it. By the end of the day, she went down a Black Diamond with me. So seeing her little legs in the wedge, like, woo, go like as slow as she possibly could. It was fun. Those are the joys of being a girl dad. All right, everyone, it's time to get to the good stuff. Speaking of games, Beyond the Dune Sea, they're playing... was it something of the Masters of the Terras Kasi? It's basically like Street Fighter Star Wars. I loved it, and they had never played it before. I should have tuned in to see how they fared, but that was one of my favorite PlayStation 1 games. That was a good one. All right. Yep, she did go down Black Diamond, but divided, you got to understand, I live in Ohio, so a Black Diamond in Ohio is basically, I would say, a blue square pretty much everywhere else, if not a green circle. They're not very challenging. Obviously, for a noob, it's tough, but I was proud of her. All right, Nick, it's time. We come here and we We always want to give our fans something to take with them when they leave the Star Wars Time Show, something to think about, something to get their Star Wars juices flowing. So this week, we are going to discuss the top 10 traitorous moments from the Star Wars film and TV universe. All right. We may or may not have stolen this from a website. Okay. 9 of them we didn't really come up with on our own. 1 we did. But I thought this website was on to something, so we're running with it. All right. So these are 10 of the biggest, you can call them traitorous moments, big, massive betrayals that took place in Star Wars. It could be animated, it could be live action. They're not in any order, okay? We're not doing a rank, we're not doing a tier, but you will get our personal top 3 traitorous moments at the end. Sound good? All right, people, here we go. So the first traitorous moment we're going to discuss here, Nick, was one that, I mean, say what you will about the sequel trilogy, Ryan and TLJ, but everyone, the first time you watched The Last Jedi and you're in the throne room and you're hearing Snoke and he's talking to Kylo and you think he's priming Kylo to get ready to murder Rey, and lo and behold, at the last second, we see that Kylo was actually manipulating the lightsaber next to Snoke, turned it on, impaled him, and then cut him in half. It was a shocking moment as a fan. It was a huge story moment for the movie, and it was the definition of betrayal or being a big-time traitor to your cause. So I really agree that this moment should be on this list. Take out all your weird thoughts on the sequel trilogy, because I have my own. And just as a fan, when you watch this, it was like, holy shit. And I think that's what a good traitorous moment should do to a viewer. It should make you almost pause and go, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. Or I did not see that coming. So Nick, what do you think about this one? Is it a worthy entry in the top 10 traitorous moments in all of Star Wars?
Yeah, I think that like this moment in particular did a really good job of like building that tension, especially in the moment, the way that it was shot and the way that it was I mean, like essentially it was Snoke narrating his own death,
his own murder. It's great,
yeah, which was pretty sick. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it because obviously the big thing that Kylo was trying to get over was what his grandfather could never do, which was take out his master. Mm-hmm. And ultimately he was able to do that and then take over the mantle as the true, dark sider of the universe.
Oh, hold on. Bango just opened some red wine and gave us a 20 spot. You got to love it.
There you go.
Thank you, my
there we
man.
Go. Thank you, Bango. Enjoy that Italian red, my friend. But yeah, I mean, I love this moment. I loved how it was shot. And then obviously like this leads to the awesome like throne room fight. I know that it's not not awesome for, a lot of the stunt community out there who that kind of stuff, but it looked cool as hell. So, yeah, I think it deserves to be up there.
Yeah. Like I said, you can say what you will about the trilogy and this movie in particular, but it's a banger moment. I'm sorry. Anytime the first time you saw this, I don't care who you are, you had to go, whoa, I did not see that coming. All right, good one there, Nick. Let's move on to the next traitorous moment. What could it be? Who's involved? Let's see. Ooh, Sheev has Dooku beheaded. Okay, this is a great moment. You can see the betrayal in Count Dooku's eyes when he realizes that he is being traded in, recycled for a new apprentice. It's, we kind of make fun of this moment because Ian, he went pretty hard. George allowed some very curious acting moments to take place, like the and the do it and that stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the do it's part of this betrayal. I mean, it is... Yeah. And you would think Dooku being a Sith, he would understand, but I think that's why this moment does earn a spot on this list, because his reaction is such one of like, are you serious? Like, this is it, my man? Like, we're done already? You're gonna let him kill me? He didn't see it coming, and I thought Christopher Lee did a bang up job kind of bringing that feeling of betrayal to the surface of Count Dooku. And it was major. I mean, like I said, here's Palpatine, spent a few years investing in the Dooku, but as soon as he saw the opportunity to kind of push Anakin a bit towards him, give him a feel of that power and doing Palpatine's bidding, Count Dooku was the unfortunate recipient of that traitorous moment, Nick. So what do you think about this one?
I mean, I think like you mentioned early, Christopher Lee's face really sells this as the traitorous moment. I think we all, you're a Star Wars fan, especially a Star Wars fan who had seen the OT. You know it's coming that Dooku's got to meet his end at some point, and what a better time to do it than having it done by the future Lord Vader. But I mean, I think that this moment, in terms of like the surprise that Dooku felt, definitely puts it up there.
Nick, we'll kind of have a little bit of fun with this one real quick. Do you think that was always Palpatine's plan? Did he foresee the events playing out the way they did? I mean, obviously he lets himself get kidnapped, so Dooku knew it was happening. Grievous knew it was happening. The Jedi did not. Do you think he saw that and he just knew that's how things were going to play out? Or did things play out and he saw like, okay, this is an opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of it. I think this is something that's going to benefit me in the end.
Yeah, I think that he definitely planned for Obi and Anakin to be there, because I feel like at that point they were just the A team, right? Like they just sent Obi-Wan and Anakin
I guess
on anything that was remotely important.
My question was more, was he planning on executing Dooku, or do you think it just played out that way and he's like, you know what, this is a good opportunity to get rid of him and start working on that guy?
Yeah, I think that he planned on doing it there. I think that he knew that Anakin was going to be there, and there had to be a fight between these two. And basically, what Palpatine was waiting for was like, well, if Dooku wins, then I know I got my guy already, and if Anakin wins, then I can just push him over into that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, what the hell am I talking about? He's fucking Palpatine. He's a master planner. He's a Sith Lord. He uses his visions to his benefit, unlike Yoda's dumbass. So, of course, he knew what was going to happen. It was all on purpose. It was all as the Force promised. So, sorry for being stupid on that one. I just wasted everyone's time. All right, what is the next traitorous moment? Who is involved? What did they do? Or who was it done to? Uh-oh. I never liked this one as a kid. It's one of the reasons Empire will never be my favorite Star Wars movie. We're talking about when Lando Calrissian sells out Han. It was rough. I mean, like you see Han, he talks so positively about Lando. They land. He's like, Han, you old space pirate. And they're kidding around. They do seem like long-lost buddies. They were best friends at one point in time. He's getting them all done up. He gets Leia a new dress. He's going to take them to dinner, and then lo and behold, they open the door, and the betrayal takes place. Darth Vader's sitting there waiting for everyone. He does that awesome blaster bolt block with his hand, and Han's like, hey, what the hell's going on here? And Lando's like, hey, nothing I can do. They showed up a few minutes before you arrived. I had to save my city. So it was huge. And I'll tell you, Lando does not stop selling out the Rebel Alliance after this moment if you're a comic book reader, but we're not going to worry about that. So I remember seeing this. I fucking hated Lando for doing it. I hated seeing Han getting tortured. Even to this day, at 44, I know it's going to happen. I still don't like when this happens. Han gets tortured, and then we have the I love you, I know. It's a painful memory for me because I was probably too young to be watching this type of shit. So yeah, it's huge. I mean, I think this one would probably, if you asked even a casual fan, what's a traitorous moment in Star Wars, I would say a good chunk of them would probably point to Lando, Nick. So what do you think about this guy?
Dude, this is definitely one of my favorites because of everything you said, right? Like the trade, like what we just talked about, Palpatine, Dooku, like they're Sith. Ultimately, one of them was going to chop the other one down regardless. Like that's the plan the whole time. He went to Bespin specifically because he's like, I got it. My bro's there. Me and Lando, we may have had some bad times. We go way back. the Falcon is technically mine, even though it was technically his, but we're all good. We're buddies. This is my guy. And then it just makes it hurt that much more when it comes. When that fucking betrayal comes, that's why it hurts, because you're like, they were buddies. He went here specifically to get away from the Empire. And then fucking what happens? As soon as he gets there, his bro sells him out. It's because Lando broke the bro code. That's why it hurts so much.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, he continues to sell them out. I mean, here he goes on to sell their cipher to the Hutts. He steals their bot and takes it with him to try and save Lobot. He gets put on trial and blah blah blah. He eventually is exonerated and commits to the Rebel Alliance, like we see him in Return of the Jedi. But Lando, it took a little work to kind of get him all gung-ho about going to save Han Solo and joining the Rebel Alliance. And it makes sense because of this type of behavior he showcased in Empire Strikes Back. He's a little shady, but he did redeem himself. And,
he did.
Chewie probably should have shook him one or two more times. I don't think he quite choked him hard enough. Leia.
Maybe he could have ripped off one arm and left him with one arm left. He could have got a robotic arm. We've seen a lot of people with robotic limbs in Star Wars. Lando deserved to lose an arm for that.
But I mean, he's still the most suave looking dude in all of Star Wars, even old version and young version. We all love Lando, but he is definitely a traitorous mofo, no doubt about it.
That is for sure.
Hey there, Wesley Cornelius. Yeah, thanks for joining. You might be a little bit behind here, but yeah, in the end we agreed that Palpatine did everything. I was just being stupid. All right, so we covered Lando. We had Snoke. I already forget the other one. So what could Palpatine versus Dooku. So what is our next traitorous moment on this list of the top 10 traitorous moments in all of Star Wars, both TV and film? What could it be? Oh, it could, in terms of scale and overall fallout, this one, my friends, if you're not on the live stream, we're talking about Order 66. Probably like I said, the biggest in terms of scope traitorous moment in all of Star Wars. I mean, it is the ultimate betrayal of the clones to the Jedi, Palpatine to the galaxy. I mean, if you think about the dominoes that fall after Order 66, it's essentially the switch that gets flipped to turn the Republic into the Empire. So it could very well be the top. If we were going to do a rank, this would be S tier, 100%. Order 66 is the definition of a traitorous moment. I mean, the fucking clones turned on their generals. There's nothing worse than being in the military and having your subordinates essentially, commit it's not a coup, it's a mutiny. I guess mutiny is only on a ship, but you people know what my dumb face is trying to say. So Order 66, it is the definition of a traitorous Star Wars moment, right, young Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I can see what Bat's saying, that never viewed it as a betrayal because it was planned and it was forced. But still, I mean, if you're looking at this from the perspective of somebody who didn't know Palpatine's long game, and then all of a sudden the entire military turns against your generals on
it's
the
a betrayal
100%.
It was a betrayal to the Jedi Order at the minimum.
Yeah, at the very minimum. And then your chancellor, who was at that time supposed to be an elected official, even though he wasn't. He was elevated to the position of chancellor, never elected. Then turns into an emperor dictator that takes over the galaxy.
Thanks, Jar Jar.
Definitely a traitorous moment. And I agree with you. It's a double traitorous moment because it's Palpatine turns on the entire Senate and the entire galaxy, and then even though it's forced or not, the clones turn on their generals, turn on their a lot of times they're friends. These are people that they have fought beside and worked with for years, and then all of a sudden they turn on them, and I do think that in terms of the scope and scale, this is definitely the biggest one that we have with the biggest impact and lasting impact. I mean, regardless of how you think about this, like technically, if you look at the galaxy leading up to it, it's like, yeah, there's always been strife in the Star Wars galaxy, but this moment that pushes the Republic from the Empire sets off a series of events that essentially leaves the galaxy in chaos.
It's a constitutional crisis, Nick.
Yeah, like forever. Like, it's pretty crazy.
It's kind of what's happening here. Shadow President. All right, that's a big one there, but we've got more to go through. We're going through the top 10 traitorous moments in all of Star Wars film and TV. Order 66, it is a monster. What could we have next for number 5? Oh, you Clone Wars and Clone Bros and girls in general, you will relate to this one. You will agree with us putting this traitorous moment on this list. If you're on the stream, you're seeing it right now. If you're not, you're just listening. Come join us Wednesdays, 5:30 p. East, or as close as we can get. YouTube.com/Star Wars Time Show. But the moment we're talking about is our first animated one, Nick, and we are talking about the degenerate, the four-armed scumbag, the Dexter Jetster wannabe diner owner lookalike Pong Krell, and what he did to the clones, the 501st, and what was it? It wasn't the 332nd. I don't know who the other unit was. I don't think it was Obi-Wan's. But either way, Pong Krell on Umbara, essentially because he hates the Jedi and hates himself, he has a little fun and he has the clones kill each other. He has Rex in the 501 attack another company, I think Waxer's company, and we have hundreds of senseless clone deaths. He executes a few on his own once they kind of catch on, and eventually he gets got by the clone that actually supported him a little bit until the clone realized that he fucked up. This is, you asked people that love the Clone Wars, they will always point to the Umbara arc as being one of the standout multiple episode stories told in the Clone Wars. And this was, it's a tragic moment. You got these poor damn clones bred to fight for the Republic, and you got a rogue Jedi general basically using them to have some fun, to kill each other, and revel in his own dissatisfaction of the Order. So, I think this one earns a spot on this list, Nick.
Yeah, definitely. And this is like obviously for Clone Wars fans and people who are like deep Star Wars fans, you'll know about this. Unfortunately, it's one of the lesser known ones because it didn't happen in one of the larger films or something like that. But nonetheless, still an absolutely insane betrayal moment for a Jedi to essentially force his units to fight against each other till the death, and then obviously, like you said, take them out on their own as well, or on his own. This one's pretty fucked up. Fucked up. Smaller scale, but still fucked up.
He's a POS. It's a great arc. I imagine if you're a Star Wars fan, you've probably seen it at least once. If you have not, go ahead and queue it up. I forget which season it's in. Maybe
I think it's 4.
Yeah, 4 tends to be. That's kind of a peak season too, and then 5 is a season I think when Ahsoka
that's when all the
gets betrayed.
Issues.
Yeah. All right, so Pong Krell, you're a scumbag. Go to hell. Who's the clone? Those of you in the live stream, I know there's a clone that kind of sided with Pong Krell for a bit, but at the end when they kind of have, the upper hand and he's talking shit to him, a clone just kind of smokes him, shoots him while no one's looking. Does anyone remember what that clone's name was? Was it Fixer, Kixer, Smicky, Schmigadoon?
Mm-hmm.
All right. While you guys are coming up with an answer for me, we'll go ahead and move on to the next traitorous moment. What could it be? Who could it be? And what did they do? And who did they do it to? Boom. Oh, look at that. I just kind of teased it. Look at me. I am the master of segues. But we're talking about Barriss Offee framing Ahsoka Tano. And this again was a multiple arc episode with major implications for main characters and the galaxy itself. So just to refresh everyone's memory, like Pong Krell, Barriss Offee started to become jaded with the Jedi Order and kind of hated them. And for some reason, she decided to exact revenge on the Order by framing her once best buddy, Ahsoka Tano. It's such a hardcore frame job that even Sky Guy, while he doesn't accuse her, he does start to question the facts and his Padawan. So much so that she does get arrested. She gets expelled from the Order. Yoda kicks her out. They can't trust her. She's trying to take out the Jedi Temple. But we come to find out through the help of Asajj Ventress that it was actually Barriss that did the bombing plot. And like I said, it's because she just hated the Order. She was starting to kind of fall into that dark disillusionment that took out Pong Krell. And as we now know, led Barriss into the Inquisition. And again, like I said, the implications here were massive. You had this promising Padawan, the Padawan of General Skywalker. She's doing amazing things already. She was destined for greatness in the Order. She gets expelled. And the experience was so traumatic to her. The fact that all of her masters, even Anakin, really didn't go to bat for her, that she rescinds their offer to rejoin. So Ahsoka Tano, because of this traitorous moment, changes her fate forever. Her destiny changes. She's no longer a Jedi. She leaves the Order and goes on to do amazing things that we've seen through the end of the Clone Wars, Rebels, and then into her own series. So I do think this is a huge traitorous moment, if anything, for how much it affected Ahsoka's destiny.
Yeah, I mean, this one is pretty big. Again, like a huge Clone Wars moment, and it really does, I mean, arguably put the galaxy and the rebellion in a better spot, because with Ahsoka now in the role of Fulcrum and being very dedicated to the rebellion during a period of time where the galaxy needed somebody like her, ultimately kind of puts her in a good position. If she rejoins the Jedi and, ultimately has to face Order 66, like what happened? Did she make it out? Like probably, like she'll probably make it out. A lot of Jedi made it out of Order 66, but you're in a completely different situation now. And so while this was a super painful moment in time, and it definitely changed her destiny for the better, I would argue, it was one of those ones where it's like, holy shit, like even Anakin doesn't believe her, and Anakin has literally been her master for, I mean, up to this point, what, fucking 6 years or something like that. It's wild. No, because you gotta remember, what was the time?
It's just the Clone Wars, Nick. So it's probably 2.5 years at that point.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, we always forget because the Clone Wars series itself lasted for like 20 years, but in their timeline, it's only a 3-year war.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Yeah,
we're humming right along here. We're going through traitorous moments in Star Wars film and TV. We've covered, 6 at this point in time. So let's see what is next. We're not ranking them. We will do personal ranks at the end. So our next traitorous moment, what could it be? Who could be involved? What was done and who was it done to? Ho! Dooku's back in the spotlight. This is when Dooku murders Yaddle, mostly to show off for Sidious. So let me set the stage again and why this is such a betrayal. This comes from Tales of the Jedi, which was great. Tales of the Empire, mid. Tales of the Jedi, awesome. And the reason Tales of the Jedi was so awesome, specifically in my opinion, was because of the Dooku arc. I really think those 3 episodes helped to flesh out this character, his motivations, and it now makes more sense why he did leave the Order and why he did link up with Palpatine. So here's why this is such a big betrayal. It's not like Dooku killed Yaddle to protect himself. If you all remember from the series, by this time, Dooku is very dissolute. He's done with it. I mean, he tried multiple times decades earlier going to Yoda like, hey man, some bad shit's happening. The Senate's getting all wonky. Like something's not right. And these visions, like, come on, hear me out. And Yoda's like, no, we don't do that. So Dooku's like, all right, whatever. And eventually it becomes too much. And obviously when you are a Force user with that amount of power and you're starting to kind of waffle on your dedication and faith to the Order, that's when Palpatine can swoop in and start speaking sweet nothings into your ear. So why this is so traitorous, if you all remember, Yaddle sided with Dooku at this point in time. She also saw that there was some weird shit going on and that the council was not paying attention to it. Nick, she was so upset by how they treated Dooku, she resigned from the council. She was on his side. She understood why he was frustrated. She understood why he was kind of going down this path. So she was with him. She was his ally. But because she found him with Sidious, and Dooku had to prove himself once and for all that he was committing to him. Notice he still has a blue lightsaber. He does decide to duel her and ultimately wins and kills her. So it's straight up murder. It's a straight up betrayal, and it is very traitorous.
Yeah. I mean, this one, no real argument here. I mean, obviously, we all wanted to know what happened to Yaddle before Tales of the Jedi. Now we find out. And yeah, I mean, you can't get much worse than this one where like you take out the person who was your only supporter in the entire Jedi Council and the entire Jedi Order probably. And it was all because, your dark side master wanted proof of your loyalty and your fealty. So yeah, this was a tough one. Definitely one of the moments that made Tales of the Jedi as strong of a miniseries as it was.
Did we? I can't remember when we did our special topic on good deaths. Did we give her one? Because I think we did. Because she did. I mean, it is a good death. I mean, she puts up a good fight. When you think it's over, he slams the door on her. She's got one last little spur to energy, and he's too much, and he essentially has his do it moment, but now he's not the one getting his head cut off. So rest in power, Yaddle, aka Grogu's mother. All right, here we go. Next traitorous moment. We've only got two left if I'm counting right here. What could it be? Who could it be? What did they do? Let's find out. Uh-oh. I'll be interested to hear what Nick has to say about this one, as well as the live stream chatters. But we've got Sabine giving Baylan the star map. So just to refresh everyone's memories on why this is a traitorous moment. Remember, Baylan and Morgan Elsbeth, they needed the star map to get to Peridia. Without it, Thrawn was going to be forever locked away with their friend Ezra in a different galaxy. He never would have been able to come back to give the remnant a boost. So just for that fact alone, it's pretty traitorous. I mean, think about the betrayal she commits towards Ezra. Ezra sacrificed his life to take Thrawn to a different galaxy. And now his buddy, who wants to see him again and kind of get some rescue juice, is like, you know what? Screw your sacrifice. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out. I'm going to flush it down the toilet and give it to my enemy. So I do believe this is a traitorous moment, even though deep down Sabine was, in her mind, doing the right thing. But think about what this action has now netted the galaxy. You've got one of your top Force users and her Padawan locked away on a planet that no one can reach. And you allowed the greatest Imperial tactician and strategist to return home with a force of what we are speculating to be undead Night Sister warriors. So, pretty big fuck up by Sabine by betraying the New Republic, Hera, and ultimately Ezra here. So, what do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if she didn't give it to him anyway, he was just going to kill her and take it. So I don't see this one as too big of a betrayal. It was basically weighing like, I'm going to get waxed if I don't give him this thing. Like, regardless of what I do, he's going to get it. Like, she can't do anything to stop him. And basically, what she does is like, okay, what is the best thing that I can do here? Is it better if I get myself killed and then he just takes it from my corpse? Or is it better if I give it to him and then I can be somewhat useful in the situation that will lie ahead? So ultimately, I don't really look at this as a betrayal. Like it's a tough situation to be in, but like she didn't do anything wrong. Like she was
went against her master's wishes, Nick.
Who was her master?
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka? Yeah, but Ahsoka's like, is she really a master? She got fucking knocked off of a ledge by this
Sabine
dude
calls her master. Well, that's because she was still sleeping in her head because she felt like she was responsible for Anakin. But once he unfucked her and she became Ahsoka the White, then she really started to flex her muscle.
I don't see this as a betrayal. This is essentially like I'm saving my own life, and in a way, like there was no way that he didn't get it. Like I would consider it a betrayal if it was like the only way that he could have gotten this is if she would have willingly given it up, and she does. But like she says no, he cuts her head off, and then he's got it anyway. And now you have nobody that is that.
Well, what if she figured out her Jedi speed and ran away into the woods and he couldn't catch her?
You don't think that he has the speed thing?
No, he's too old. Clearly, old guys can't do it.
Legs, yeah.
Here, B-Mad's got a good one for you. The real traitorous moment was what they did to Thrawn, right, Nick? Right?
That's right. B-Mad knows. Fucking B-Mad knows.
All right, well, there you go.
The betrayal was in the writing.
I had a feeling I wouldn't bat 1,000 on these with young Nick, so there we go. There's my first whiff on the Sabine. But I think by definition it is a betrayal for sure. All right, I think we got one or two more. I can't count. I am stupid. I went to American public schools, so don't blame me. All right. Next one. Okay, never mind. That was the last one. Told you. Told you I can't count, people. So we are at Nick's personal top 3 traitorous moments. You heard him talk about the 10 we just rolled out as a duo. So what are we thinking Nick picked for his top 3? If you're in a live stream, why don't you go ahead and leave some guesses in there? All right. Nick's first one. Right. Are these descending order? I hope so, because that's kind of what I took. So, Nick, ready? Talk about your first one is go.
All right. So, my first one is, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page here.
I have Lando up as number 3.
Okay. It's Lando. Yes, that is right. So, Lando to me, and that's why I liked, I said it when we were talking about it. The Lando one was like, it was to me, it's the most painful. It's like, this one is the one where it's like, he's my boy. I'm going to my guy's house. It's like when you're running from the cops after they caught you like tagging something, or they caught you on the street smoking weed, and then you go to your bro, you jump a fence and you go to your boy's house that's real close, and you're like, oh man, I just gotta hide out for a little bit. I'm not gonna be here forever. It's gonna give me a few hours and then I'll be out. And then your boy's like, yeah man, come on in, all good, sit down, have a pizza. And then he fucking rolls in with the cops while you're in the kitchen eating some grub. That's so fucked up. That one's tough. That one's tough. So yeah, Lando is 3. All right. So yeah, we can go on to the next one.
Next one for young Nick, Vader. That's the one we missed.
That was the one you left out. Vader. So
how the hell did that happen?
So technically,
Star Wars time show. They're a bunch of idiots.
We didn't go over this one.
All right, well, go over it for us, pal.
Yeah. So Vader turning on Palpatine was the moment that really,
bunch of dipshits.
It changed the galaxy forever. Right? Because if he doesn't turn on Palpatine here, it's over. Yeah. It's over, bro.
Yeah. Luke's toast. The rebels are toast. I can't believe I skipped this one, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is the key betrayal in the entire galactic history post sequel trilogy or post prequel trilogy, right? Because if Vader does not do this and he allows his son to roast under the lightning of
his daughter dies next very quickly with a green bolt to the moon of Endor.
Yeah, they turn it on it. Boom, it's over. It's over. Everything is over. Vader continues to be under the thumb of Palpatine forever because he will never have the spine, especially after letting both of his children die by the hand of Palpatine, to ever overthrow him. So he either just sits and laments under Palpatine's his reign forever, or Palpatine literally just kills this motherfucker and replaces him with the next strongest person of force ability that he can. And then Palpatine reigns as the unquestioned leader of the galaxy until a time when he chooses to die of his own accord. I mean, this was this is a huge one. Huge for sure. So Vader turns on Palpatine, turns back to the light side, saves both of his children in the meantime, and then allows the Rebel Alliance to triumph over the Empire. Yeah, obviously top moment there for sure.
All right. And next number one, Order 66. All right.
My number one, Order 66. And it was because, like I said before, if there was a defining moment for the OT, this was the defining moment for the prequel trilogy. I know that there's Pong Krell lovers out there, especially a lot in our chat. I'm going off a scope here. Like, these last two are scope driven. In Order 66, there is no larger scope than this one here. You have literally it's a double betrayal. It's two betrayals in one. It is Palpatine betraying the lawfully elected Senate and the galaxy as a whole, and then it is the individual betrayals of all of the clones turning on their Jedi generals, and just essentially in one fell swoop, you had the downfall of the Republic, the rise of the Empire, all happened within 5 minutes because of one order. I mean, and the reverberations from Order 66 are felt even through the sequel trilogy, because it wasn't until 30 plus years later that a Jedi Order was reestablished. And what happens? It falls again. Like, if this doesn't happen, then you have some sort of you have the opportunity for the Jedi to be able to fight against this in some capacity if the clones don't turn. But because of Order 66, because the clones turned, because so many powerful Jedi generals were killed in that time period, there's no fucking chance. There's no chance. You have no army. You have no leadership. You have no mystical force users in mass that can stand up against this. It was the most well thought out betrayal of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. We talked about when we broke it down. It should be the number one, just for the sheer scale of this traitorous moment. I'm still trying to think oh well, whatever. I'll have to see the order of the slides after the show, but that was great. I knew we had one. I was like, there's got to be at least one more. One. And no, we missed it, but Nick took care of it. So let's go to my top three here. All right. Coming in at number 3. Damn, we missed 2.
We did miss 2. the Jod Na one as well, right?
All right, I'll handle it. And what a shit show. You know what? You guys should love our failings. It's part of the charm of the
we betray our listeners on every show. That's the number one betrayal.
Oh, look who showed up. He coming in late, but our buddy Dick Eaton's in here. All right. Good to see you, man. Vader was so hot, he turned on Palp and made his old tool rise in the sky.
There you go.
Killing it once again. You know, it's always good to see Dick Eaton up in the chat. Anyways, since we severely screwed this the countdown up, I'll go ahead and talk about this one. But this is the one we kind of added to the list we found. Jod breaking bad on the kids. And I do think it's a major traitorous moment in Star Wars, because all of us, for the longest time, when we heard about this series and Jude Law being in it with kids, we're all like, oh, yeah. You know, he's probably a little shady, but he's definitely going to redeem himself. He's going to do the right thing. He's going to help those kids. There's no way he's going to be a bad guy. And sure as shit, no, he breaks completely bad, starting in episode 5, when he pulls the knife on Fern and challenges her captaincy, and then really kind of hammers it home in episode 7 when he murders SM-33 and then threatens 4 little kids with a lightsaber at their faces. So it was a major betrayal to kids nonetheless. And he stuck to his guns. I mean, he's like, you know what? I am Jod Na Nawood, Captain Silvo. I am a piece of shit. And I will remain a piece of shit to get my gold. Because everything in this galaxy is about cold, hard credits. So I really found this to be a strong traitorous moment. Because if you think about it, it's one that is being, the betrayal is being done to children, which makes it slightly more egregious than some of the other ones we were talking about here.
True.
So there you go. That's my number 3 and part of our top 10 that we just didn't include because I'm a complete bozo today. All right, my number 2 was the Kylo kills Snoke, and it is more due to the shock factor of that. I mean, that is nothing I had on my bingo card for The Last Jedi or the sequel trilogy. I thought Snoke was going to be the dude. And there we go. And that happened. So yeah, very shocking, standout type of traitorous moment. And then my number 1, one of the ones we skipped here, Vader turns on Palpatine. Before the no, it was a highly emotional moment. Clearly it's very traitorous. I mean, you've got this subordinate, this bitch, this dog. I mean, he was Palpatine's dog for 20 plus years. Sitting there. I mean, he's even sitting there watching his son literally get fricasseed. But he decides to betray his master over the decades of the mental torture and pain, chucks him down the energy well. Palpatine yeets his soul over to Exegol, which is stupid. But it's a major betrayal, but one that is massive. I mean, like Order 66, Nick, this one and the scale of Vader's betrayal is galaxy sized, because like you said,
galaxy change.
Without this happening, Palpatine pretty much cements himself as emperor till the end of time. And that's that, my friend. So now it is time to move on over into our fan segment, and we've got a full fan segment this week. We're not half-assing it like we did last week, so we got question of the week. We'll do that first, and that is the we put out a question prompt, essentially lining up to our main segment. So this week we asked the fans, hey, what's your top traitorous moment that you remember from Star Wars? Let's go ahead and get the board up here.
All right.
Nick, you get to it. There were not many this week, so
yeah,
you may fire when ready.
So what we got first is Quick Picks Toys says Lando, baby.
That's right.
I mean, he's right. He's right. 2797 Studios. Mr. Bat says Fox killing fives. I mean, that's the thing is that Clone Wars has a lot of hidden betrayal stuff like that in there. If you haven't watched it, definitely go in there. We listed Fox killing fives wasn't even on our list, but I think we had 3 other Clone Wars betrayals already on the list. League of Extraordinary Sixthers says Barriss Offee. There we go. Barriss was on our list as well. Window Box says, if not Order 66, the moment that never failed to gut me as a kid was when Lando gave up Han.
I'm telling you, man. If you watch Empire Strikes Back when before you're formed, it can fuck you up for life.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, man. You can't even trust your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Can't even trust your friends, man. And then last one here, Limits of Ingenuity. I think this is just the gif of what Bat was talking about, the Fox kills fives moment. But yeah, the Fox killing fives was definitely a big one for the Clone Homers.
I think Limits of Ingenuity might be teasing when Rex kind of almost shoots Ahsoka.
With that? Well,
I think. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But it wasn't. I mean, one, he didn't turn fully, and 2, I mean, that I wouldn't count that, but
who cares?
Yeah,
Nick, we're humans. We don't speak in images, so we can only process what you're giving us. Limits. Sorry again, if you've been listening to the show, we're clearly stupid. So We have no idea what this moment is. We're now being told that's not Order 66 Rex. I don't know what the hell it is, but we love you either way. We speak your name. Thanks for playing.
Yes, I don't think it was Order. But anyway, yes. Thank you for everybody, or thank you to everybody for responding to Question of the Week. Make sure to follow us.
One this week here.
Yeah, at StarWarsTime.show on Instagram. That's where we put the Question of the Week. I believe it's also posted on our Discord. Obviously, join our Discord. Open invitation on our Instagram. Join the community. Lots of fun in there. Lots of Star Wars lovers. All right. Next up, we got the top 5 Star Wars fan art features of the week. Again, follow us at StarWarsTime.show on Instagram. Make sure to tag us, tag at StarWarsTime.show on all of your Instagram Star Wars posts. That's how you get into the tag feed, and that's where I pull the top 5 from.
It looks
Kicking
like
off this week,
Dick Eaton and Rory or Smith are fans here. Dick's top Traitorous moment in Star Wars was when Jar Jar was hated on and his time was short after episode 1. He's the GOAT. Fuck the Jedi. Show me funny alien. There you go. EKU Rory, you have an ally.
You found your match. Yeah, you found your Jar Jar match. But first off, in the top 5, 1/6 lovers here, giving us this awesome. I mean, I know they posted a lot of pictures of this, but this is essentially like the Keanu Reeves version of like if Keanu was Revan.
Yeah, you know that's a thing, right, Nick? Like people, for some reason think Keanu Reeves should be Darth Revan, even though I don't think we ever saw Darth Revan unmasked, did we?
You see him in KOTOR. You see him unmasked. Yeah, you see him unmasked. They have like a similarity, I guess you would say. Or not in KOTOR, in SWOTOR. In Star Wars: The Old Republic, you see Revan unmasked. But yeah, I mean, look, I love Keanu Reeves. I think that Keanu Reeves has done a fantastic job recently of like revitalizing his career through the John Wick series, and then obviously he will always be Neo from the Matrix, and he'll always be Bill and Ted movies, all of his stuff. I would love to see him come in. I think he might be a little bit too old to play a younger Revan, but just knowing how that guy takes care of his body and seeing all the physical work that he can do with the Wick franchise, I'd be down for it. So
he seems to be a generally excellent human too, right? Like,
yeah, I know, right? Like nobody can hate on Keanu Reeves. That dude is just the nicest dude of all time. So yeah, I mean, Keanu here as Darth Revan, awesome figure. Is this custom? It's got to be a custom.
No,
right?
What I think 1/6 is doing here is popping the John Wick head off of the hot toy Wick and just plopping it on the Revan body.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean,
but the eyes, the eyes, I don't know. I don't know if that's post because I look at it closely and they actually, that is post. It's post.
Yeah. So I mean, fantastic job of doing this mashup. Would love to see Keanu Reeves incorporate. It's
fucking great. I mean, it really
universe.
Is a great figure mashup. I mean, you couldn't really ask for a better pairing here. The Wick head on
the eyes are real. He popped the eyes out of the fucking Darth Maul. Go to the very, very last slide.
All right. Yeah, I was about to say that, Nick. I'm not going to lie. I was about to say that, but then I pussed out and lost confidence in myself. Looks like when he was doing this, he also ripped one of Darth Maul's thorns off his head, so that probably was a bummer. If you see that.
You can see the little side.
It's no fun when that shit happens. All right, but good stuff there from 1/6 _ lovers.
That's right. Next up, we got Captain X CPT _ EKX or EKS on Instagram, and what they're doing is giving us an awesome shot inside the Tantive 4 of Darth Vader with his stormtrooper buddies busting in, taking control, and this is the moment where he begins to lift the then captain or the then commander of the Tantive 4 off the ground in the chokehold, starts to interrogate him before Leia shows up and starts to verbally lash Vader in front of all of his minions. I love the way that this shot is framed through one of the doors, where you're kind of like looking at it from the other side of the door. I think that the framing looks really good. The posing, great, obviously. And then, yeah, overall, just a super clean shot here from Captain X.
Tell the wine's kicking in for Bango. He's over there thinking about how he can use Zabrak horns for sexual pleasure.
I don't know about
That's
that.
the type of commentary you'll get here on the SWTS. So make sure to join 5:30 East. Wednesdays are the closest we can get. YouTube.com/Star Wars Time Show.
That's right. All right. Good stuff
job there, CPTX.
On Instagram. Next up, we have Kubus the photographer, KUBUS _ photographer. And then Kubus the photographer is giving us an awesome shot here of Din Djarin in his Beskar Mando armor, whipping the Darksaber out in a snowy forest. Looks like it might be a training day. Looks like it's not too heavy for him today. So maybe this was after
He's feeling good,
a while.
Nick. Yeah, he feels confident in himself.
Confidence is high. He's also got the dagger out. Overall, I mean, I thought it was a cool little exterior shot here. Nice post effects on the Darksaber, giving it the awesome black and white glow. And then good posing on Mr. Din Djarin himself.
Yep, good old outdoor toy photography. That was where I started. It's my favorite place to do it, even though I probably haven't done it in 3 years. But kudos to Kubus _ photographer Instagram.
Nice. Next up, we got Jay-Z.
Jay-Z's always killing it.
He is. JZHZ is killing it left and right. 6669 on Instagram. And this shot here, clone or a stormtrooper, looks like they're the heavy gunners, got his binoculars out there too, working in the desert. Maybe this is episode 4 timeline where he's scouting out looking for the lost droids that came off of the Tantive 4. I mean, this shot here, it's like this figure looks so, like, well, obviously the weathering is well done, but it's just such a clean looking shot.
It's good, man. It's expert posing. That's all I can tell you. I mean, he's just standing there. It's not an action shot. It's literally just a stormtrooper. Maybe I think it's a sergeant or whatever because he's got the pauldron on. But yeah, this is what you get when you actually take your time to pose a figure. You can make them look real.
Yeah, I mean, this looks real. Yeah, Sand Trooper Sergeant, says JZHC in the caption of the photo. Twin sons of Tatooine in the background. I mean, like, the background looks fucking awesome. Clean as hell shot of the trooper as well. I mean, just absolutely beautiful work here by JZHZ666.
I'm gonna start trying some composite, Nick, because it's gotten so easy now for even dopes like me. You can just fire up like, hey, remove the background, and it will actually do it now. So you don't have to, cut them out anymore. I think I need to try this. Start shooting on a black or white screen. Find some exotic backgrounds. Little practical stuff there. You see, it looks like they got some practical down there for the sand.
Yeah, I think he's got some sand.
All right.
Yeah, some
thank you,
sand.
JZHZ6669 for the motivation.
All right.
This one cracks me up. I love that you picked this, dude.
This one's fantastic. So this is from Mando Nerd Collector, Mando _nerd _collector on Instagram. And what is it? It's the lost Anakin and Padme prom photo. It's the prom photo that was never released. And then we also got some good prom photos of Leia and Han, and we got some of Hera and Kanan as well. I mean, these are nice prom photos, Valentine's Day photos, whatever you want to call them. I mean, they're just fantastic. I mean, you got Padme holding the flowers, Anakin right behind her with his arms around her.
Is. I mean,
beautiful.
I'm right in line with you too. When I saw this, it reminded me of people that pay to have pictures with celebrities, like, because that's kind of how some of the posing looks. Or like you said, it's either at a wedding or like a school dance where a photographer had a backdrop set up.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's just so good. Like the clearly like put in Cupids, the little light string, the heart light string above awesome. Han and Leia, the little hearts, the filter. I mean, overall, hey, Valentine's Day just passed. Happy Valentine's Day to those of you who celebrate. And these are in homage. This is Star Wars Valentine's Day shots here from Mando Nerd Collector.
I love it.
Good stuff.
We got a request from our buddy DE. He wants us to recreate these, so
we can try next time.
We're in the same vicinity. Nick's definitely jumping on. I'll jump on Nick's back, and we'll recreate the Kanan and Hera one.
there we go. We'll make it happen for DE.
Yeah,
we'll make it happen.
Yeah, the first one that Dick wants us to do the first one. So I'll be the Padme and you can be my Anakin.
There we go.
Oh, I love it. I when I saw that choice, Nick, I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, go Nick!"
So I mean, it was so good. Perfect.
Quality.
But hey, that's it. Good Valentine's Day closer to this show. But that is it. That is the end of our top 5 this week, and that's the end of our show. So, Matt, go ahead and close us out.
Oh, dude. Fan segment, it's always my favorite part of the show because I kind of get to sit back for a little bit and not be the guy that steps all over Nick and everyone else. And you all with your questions or your responses and then the pictures, it's always fun. I always get a good laugh during the fan segment. So if you want to participate, make sure you are following us on socials. You can do that by going to StarWarsTime.net. Over there on the internets out there, you can find all our socials that we're active on. You can subscribe to the show on the podcast platforms of your choice. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, Pandora, Stitchin', TuneIn. We're probably on too many podcast platforms. All we ask, though, if you want to be an acolyte of the SWTS, or maybe a disciple, I shouldn't use acolyte, don't want to upset people here. Just make sure to keep stumping for us, all right? We need more fans. We need more live streamers, podcast listeners. Let them know about the Star Wars Time show, all right? StarWarsTime.net, that's all you got to do. Send them over there on the internet, and they will be keyed in. All right, my friends, as always, great hanging out with you on this Wednesday evening. Love my man, Young Nick, but it's always fun to have people in here in the live stream chat, such as Bat, League, Bango, Thronkill, Dick Eaton. We had EKU Rory, of course, B-Mad, Thronkill again, Mariana, Divided. They're all in here. 2797. Bango's getting boozed up because that's what we do when there's always time for Star Wars Time. All right, StarWarsTime.net, people. Don't forget. I'll say it one more time just so you don't. StarWarsTime.net. There's always time for the Star Wars Time show. And if you listen to what we say every week, the Force will be with you always.